Thank you so much for staying tuned to this channel. If you just joined us, this is TMI. You can call it This Morning on ITV. You'll be right on point. It's all about the OSUN State gubernatorial election. Yes, OSUN decides. We get to one hand on the delegate, and on the other hand, you have Yetola, and of course the APC versus PDP, and we have other parties there, but it just seems like a two-horse race that saw the stronger, bigger horse coming out tops. Everyone showcased their talents, everyone showcased their supporters, everyone showcased their prowess when we talk about politicking. Many didn't see it coming. Very few were hopeful. But INEC declared the result. A delegate of the PDP won 17 local government areas in OSUN State, while the APC, Oyetola, won just 13 in a keenly contested election, 28,000 plus apart. If you take a look at the counted votes, you get to see 403,371 for a delegate, while 375,027 for Oyetola, the incumbent. Was it ever possible that in Nigeria, an incumbent can just congratulate, or let's say lose out to the opposition party in a state in Nigeria? And what is the message for political parties come 2023 general election? We'll be here in the studio. I have two legal practitioners. I call them law barracudas, Joining to welcome Barrister Emmanuel Obapolo. Barrister, welcome to TMI on this edition. I appreciate your coming.
It's a privilege being here. Good morning, Nigerians.
And of course, a vibrant youth also. Yes, Gabriel Ehigiato. Thank you so much for coming, Barrister.
Thank you for having me.
All right. Barrister Emmanuel Obapolo, were you surprised when INEC announced the result declaring PDP the winner of the OSUN State gubernatorial election?
The state of OSUN, and as it is called, and the people of OSUN in particular, and Nigerians in general, are not made to witness the mystery of inconclusiveness that has been the order of the day in the conduction of elections in Nigeria recently. So for once, we have come to witness an election that started and concluded in the same manner it started. So one would say kudos to INEC, kudos to the person of Senator Ademola Adeleke, and kudos to the people of OSUN in particular, who came out for the very first time en masse to vote. And we saw situations where the people reports has it.
All right, now you just hold on, want to go for a break. When we return, we'll continue with this discussion. Don't go away.
TMI, every opinion counts.
Thank you so much for staying tuned. It's all about the OSUN gubernatorial election that was just concluded yesterday. The result has been announced, and of course, we saw the PDP candidates, Senator Ademola Adeleke, scoring 403,371 votes, while the PDP, while the APC, Degboyega Oyetola, got 375,027 votes. And I still have my legal practitioners here with me in the studio to really share their opinions and thoughts on this particular discussion. We're with you, Barrister Emmanuel Obapolo. So you're like saying kudos to the winners, and I take it up from there.
Yes, I say kudos to the people of OSUN State. Kudos to the winner, Senator Ademola Adeleke. Kudos to INEC, and kudos to every Nigerian. And like I did say from the outset, that INEC has done wonderfully with the OSUN election, to the extent that Nigerians are not made to witness the mystery of inconclusiveness as the manner is just now in recent elections in Nigeria. Also, I think, to my mind, 4 factors played in this election.
But before we get down to the factors, Barrister Gabriel, were you surprised to see the results?
Well, I wasn't surprised, because that election is a litmus test of what may happen in 2023. It shows that people have taken it upon themselves not to vote because of party inclination, but to vote because of the personality involved. Boyega has not done anything in Osun. Have you been to Osun? Yeah, he's very civil servant, he's very retirees. He has not done anything. So people are now revolting against the government and have decided to institute a government that they believe can take them out of the track of darkness. And that's what is happening. That's why playing there. You see the margin at which Ademola Adeleke brushed Boyega. So it is very clear that people have taken it upon themselves and they come to duty to liberate themselves by voting the right candidate they feel will help them to extend in the way. So whatever is happening now is just a litmus test of what may unfold and unfold. Okay. Yeah, I must allow the courage of INEC, who have decided not to be biased at this time, or who have decided not to give us the issue of inconclusiveness, just as my colleague here said, because that is what I've been playing on, inconclusive, and inconclusive. But this one wasn't like that. It was a different ball game entirely. Despite all the horns, despite the election, the vote buying, despite the election rascality that took place, the manipulation, we still see that the people wish. See, I think, and if you look at it compared to the election that happened in 2018, I think Boyega just won with about 350 votes. But now you can see the margin of which Adeleke won this election. So I salute the courage and the sagacity of the people of Osun.
All right. Now, you were talking about factors,
yes.
Barrister Emmanuel.
Yes,
so
to my mind.
Factors that limited I want to put it now, from APC from retaining that particular position in Osun State?
To my mind, 4 factors played out. I will mention the 4 and I would concentrate on 3. Number 1 is the God factor. God gives power and takes. God is the ultimate. He decides who gets what, who gets it when, and who gets it how. That is God for you. So God has given this man that opportunity to see how he is going to use the power. Number 2 is the people's factor. Section 14, subsection 2 of the Constitution, Nigerian Constitution, extant Constitution, 1999, provides thus that sovereignty belongs to the people of Nigeria. So the people, just like my colleague said, the people have come out and now have chosen to decide their fate and the direction they go. Because if you say you will downplay yourself, you will not come out, oh, votes does not count in Nigeria, and you begin to say all those things we hear people say, and you sit down, then these people will have their way. But just like in Osun, the people came out and they vote, and their vote has count. The number 3 factor is the person of Senator Ademola Adeleke. I do not know him in person, but you know, when you compare what the people are going through just now in the hands of the incumbent governor, it is likened in Egypt. So the people now have come to see, oh, we are like the children of Israel in the Bible. So we want to change, want to determine our fate. We have prayed enough. Now let us act on the prayers we have prayed. And the people came out and they've now choose for themselves a leader, a governor that will take them to the next stage in the running of day-to-day governance in Osun State. Then the number 4 factor is the territorial connection of the state of Osun. If you look at Osun as a state, you will see Osun that a state that inhabits the famous university, Obafemi Awolowo University, Ile-Ife. So you can imagine a citadel of learning of that magnitude, so resident in that state. Then you can now see that the people of that state should have something different, like we witness in Ekiti. Ekiti, that is said to be a state where at least in every family you have at least a professor. But if you look at the citadel, the learning institutions in Ekiti, it cannot be compared with that of Osun. So Osun has come to prove that indeed we are learning people. So they have come out and they have determined their fate. And just now, I congratulate them, and I hope that the governor that is coming will take the people to the next step, and things will work out well in OSUN just now.
All right. Well, you heard him mention 4 factors. He talked about the person of Adeleke, he talked about the geographical location of OSUN, and of course the content. When we talk about education, the labor factor, he also talked about civil servants being old. That's the people's factor. And of course the 4th one was the first to mention, the God factor. Do you agree to what he said? Talking about the 4 factors that played out itself to see.
Pastor Messed, I totally agree with him. Adeleke Ademola has been a man of the people. Over time, he has demonstrated what patriotism can be. He has carried out more philanthropic activities than a lot of politicians that emerged from the OSUN state. And it's a well-known family. And the reason why the family is known is because, not just because they are rich, but because of the philanthropic gesture they've exercised over time. If you look at the campaign carefully, you will see that external factors were there. Just like the father that had to bring in his name, Davido. You could see Davido campaigning in the street of OSUN. You could see the reaction and the zeal from the people to support the Adeleke's family. So to me, it's not just a victory for Ademola Adeleke, neither a victory for Davido, neither a victory for the Adeleke's family. It's a victory for the OSUN people. They have decided on what should happen. Because the OSUN people over time have suffered, not just in the hand of the incumbent governor, Boyinga. They've also suffered from the time of Adegbeshola. From the time of Adegbeshola. Yes, Adegbeshola. The whole retirees, it depended for several months. It didn't pay teachers for several months. So, those people have decided to bear that 8 years of Adegbeshola. And you are now including it to the 4 years of Boyinga. You see that they're already almost dead. So they have decided to do the needful. And I will advise political party to learn from what you have from the OSUN. People have decided not to be voting political party any longer. I believe if Ademola Adeleke have even contested the least political party, in the less popular political party, I believe we'll see him. Because he has been a man of the people. And he has demonstrated that. Both in wealth, in nation, and in character disposition. So I'm not surprised at all.
You're not surprised at all?
None at all.
Now, for what you're saying, the people came out en masse to elect their leaders.
Exactly.
Well, if you want to go to the flip side of this, both parties came out with a heavyweight entertainer, so to speak. On one hand, you have a Davido, on the other hand, you have a Portable. There's Azu Krona. Do they have any factors to contribute in the outcome of the election?
Yes, they did. And I also saw somewhere where Portable himself was now saying that he was giving money. I have not verified. Yeah. He was giving money to do what he did. But more so, we'll say, the acid test just now is that I see the revolution of the mind of the youths. The revolution of the mind of the youths. The youths have woken up from their slumber. And the youths are now looking at, once upon a time in this country, so person was the head of state at the age of 32. So person was the prime minister at the age of 33. So person was the prime minister, the head of government at the age of 39. So what is now the position of the youth? We saw that the youth had fallen. But just now, the revolution of the mind, the wind of change has blown into the camp of the youth. So the youth have woken up. The youth came out. If you look at OSUN, according to INEC reports, they did say that the collection of PVC, I think in the southern part of Nigeria, OSUN has the highest just now. That is to tell you that the wind of change that is blowing is indeed a good one. And is blowing, and the youths are beginning to realize, unlike yesteryears, when the youth will just sit down and say, what will I do with election? Election go feed me. Election go in our local palace. Waiting election won't give me. But today the youth have come to know that, look, our future is determined by the votes and by the persons we put in power. So the youth have come out, and then that is why you saw this display. Despite the vote buying that was minimal.
We'll come to that. We'll come to that. The vote buying aspect.
So when you look at the summation of all the activities that played out in OSUN yesterday, this morning, you discover that of a truth, the people are determined to give themselves a good government.
All right.
That will lead them well.
That will lead them well. Well, prior to this election, according to Oyetola, he said, I worked very hard. I should win. Underlying the word worked. And of course, I very hard to win. I should win. What really went wrong? Does it mean that he didn't tell,
what give you the
tell us the total
praise
truth?
What give you the praise?
He said he worked so hard.
Governance is all about the people, not party leaders. That you establish party leaders, you establish your friends and the social connections. Does it mean you are working for the people? Is that what guarantees you to be re-elected? It should be, if I with due respect, I see some people, don't let me call them, they should be ashamed of themselves. That an incumbent governor lost. An incumbent governor, as we say in Aleko Palace, he hold the yam and the knife. He decided to give it to. Lost in such magnitude. I mean, it's dreadful. It shows that he has not just failed in his capacity. He has even failed to his local government. You saw the vote he used in winning his local government and his polling unit. It was very minute.
But he won.
You know, he won, but it was very minute. The one would have expected that he would flag at Eleke. But we are surprised that even won many, and it's impossible. The truth is this: Osun State have gone down the drain. Whatever resources is emanated from Osun State have been used to service the political leaders. He has not used it to work effectively for the people. So the people have just one opportunity over the 4 years. And what is that opportunity? Election time. And they have decided to take their destiny into their hand, to change the stethoscope of the political fairness of the state. As what is what they have just done. Just as I said earlier, and I will say it again, that this is just a litmus test of what will happen in other elections. Now you can see a clear difference between the Osun election and that of the Ekiti. People collected money. They collected money as if voted against the party to show that they were ever ready. That is a might that is unbeatable, and they salute their courage. It wasn't easy because money is mammon. Yes, and that was the only thing that contested with God. The Bible said you cannot serve God and serve mammon. The only thing the Bible plays with God is mammon. So people collected the mammon as if voted against them and made sure they voted their men. That is the beauty of democracy. That is the beauty of revolutionary movement. And I just pray that this movement will not end with the Osun election. If we go to other subsequent elections, we will have this country. Because take it or not, the Nigeria political fairings have come to change.
Okay.
And the youth have decided to lead the way by this time.
And the youth have decided to lead the way. Well, if you may know this, the election was held across 3,763 units in the 30 local government area of Osun State and witnessed a huge voter turnout. And according to report, it was largely peaceful. Of the 1,955,657 registered voters in the state, 1,497,595 permanent voters cards were collected before the election. The turnout of people going out there was massive. People going out to collect their PVC was just so massive. What do you think led to this revolution?
It's the wind of change. To the extent that the people are now deadly tired of what is going on with respect to governance in Nigeria. Let me tell you one thing. Governance is all about impactation. How do you impact the people? The present Osun State, let me go back to memory lane a little. The present Osun State is part of the old Oyo Empire during the pre-colonial administration. And during that time, when the Oba is rejected by the people, there is this ritual that accompanies it. The tendering of a calabash with 2 parrot eggs in it to him, to tell him that, and the pronouncement, the people reject you, the gods reject you, the land reject you. And it is said that the Oba goes on what? Exile. Now, the people of Osun have tendered the calabash to Oyetola. So, I don't know why the man is now boasting that he works. I don't understand what he meant by that I worked. So if you did work, why the presentation of the calabash to you by the people? The people have sent him away. The people have told him, we reject you. The land rejects you. The gods reject you. So I think it is time for him to go on exile and commit suicide. So when you look at
don't talk about committing suicide here.
Political suicide.
All right, please don't talk about committing suicide here. All right, political suicide. Okay, we don't want to do that.
And you are the one calling it political suicide. I did not say so. I only said suicide. It can be given any interpretation. Now, when you look at the youth, indeed, the youth of Nigerians are the ones suffering. Somebody will go to school, graduate, 5 years, 10 years, no job. And by the time there is a little opportunity for job, the person, the company or the institution or the parastatal or the organization will be telling you 5 years experience. Where are you going to get the experience for when there is no job for you to do after 10 years upon graduation? So all of this drama we see, meanwhile they have taken somebody, they are just telling the youth all of that stories, and they tell you that there is no job for people. Recently we saw
All right.
our president telling us that even my children have told them that there is nothing for them to inherit. Is that why you are punishing all of us?
Okay, now you just hold on. We want to go for another break. When we return, we'll continue with this discussion. Don't go away. This is TMI Sunday's edition.